We are learning more about what may have caused a big plane crash in San Francisco over the weekend.
Yeah, Asiana Airlines says the Boeing 777's pilot had just 43 hours of experience flying the plane and was trying to get used to it when it crashed while landing at San Francisco's International Airport. Let's get the very latest right now with Melanie Rudrow, who is live at the airport. Good morning to you, Melanie.
NTSB investigators made a critical discovery regarding the final seconds of this flight. It's helping them determine why the plane may have crashed. Investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board combed through the wreckage of Asiana Flight 214. They say the plane was coming in too slow when its tail slammed into the rocky seawall in front of the runway.
Bang, and the plane just hit the ground so hard.
An analysis of the flight data recorder shows the pilots tried to speed up, but it was too late.
A call to initiate a go-around occurred 1.5 seconds before impact.
Investigators hope to interview the crew and victims over the next couple of days. Korean aviation officials say the pilot in control of the aircraft at the time of the crash was a veteran with nearly 10,000 hours of flight time. But he was new to the Boeing 777 and was landing the plane here at San Francisco's International Airport for the first time. 16-year-olds Wang Linjia and Yi Mengwan from a town near Shanghai, China, died in the crash. They were headed to a summer camp with their middle school classmates.
Yesterday we responded, as you know, to a plane accident at SFO.
San Francisco Fire Chief Joanne Hayes White says they are looking into the possibility that an emergency vehicle rushing to the scene may have hit one of the girls and killed her. 182 passengers were taken to the hospital. Doctors expected to see burn victims, but that's not what they got.
What we did see are a huge amount of spine fractures, some of them which include paralysis.
Most of the injured passengers were sitting in the back of the plane. A Korean aviation official said that the pilot in charge of the aircraft when it crashed had less than 45 hours experience specifically with the 777. But this morning, Asiana's CEO came out and said that pilot in training was not in charge of the aircraft when it crashed. NTSB will continue to investigate. Reporting live in San Francisco, Melanie Woodrow. Now back to you.
All right, thank you very much for the update, Melanie. Folks on the plane say one reason they survived is that they were able to get out before that fire started. And a woman from right here in New Mexico was at San Francisco's airport when that crash happened.
And she could finally be getting home today. Melissa Newman of Farmington was traveling back to New Mexico, and because of the crash, her flight home was delayed. Melissa says she wasn't sure at first what was happening.
We were just told to call our particular airline, and we checked the website, and the website just basically told us that all the flights were canceled and didn't give us any further information.
Well, Melissa says the news was shocking and that she is just looking forward to getting home. In other news this morning, part of the Duke City saw some rain last night, and Sandia Ranger officials say that is a good thing for the public areas in the mountains. It was back in early June when the Sandias were closed off to the public because of fire danger. Since then, all trails and camping spots have been closed. Anyone caught going in restricted areas could face fines of up to $100. The tramway, however, is still open, but you cannot go on any of the trails up there. So, big question, will the recent rain help lift the restrictions? We will have that answer for you coming up in about next half hour.
Well, the rain and the humidity is definitely helping firefighters battle the wildfires here in New Mexico. This is Sky News 13 footage of those fires. We'll start up north where none of the Joroso fire in the Pecos is contained this morning, but it's not growing nearly as fast as it was a few weeks ago. It has burned a little more than 11,000 acres, and firefighters say the rain and the cooler temperatures are slowing that fire down. Very good news. Then down south in the Gila, the Silver Fire hasn't grown since Friday, and firefighters are now taking a good look at the burn scar, hoping to prevent flooding. The Silver Fire has burned almost 140,000 acres and is 80% contained this morning. And firefighters here are now getting some help with the North Carolina Air National Guard. The U.S. Forest Service asked for its help, so the Guard is sending this huge C-130 firefighting plane our way. It can dump 3,000 gallons of water or fire retardant in less than just 5 seconds.
Meteorologist Kristen Van Dyke here. You've been keeping a close eye on these fires. Has the weather helped at all?
Oh yeah, it's definitely helping. All of that rain is a big deal when it comes to fighting the fires, especially for some of the fires that the firefighters are having a tough time getting their hands on. So yeah, it's helping out a lot, and we're going to see more help from Mother Nature too. Dew points right now in the 50s across most of the state, so still plenty of moisture. This is how we measure the amount of moisture, and this is on the low end for monsoon season, but this is definitely enough to get the showers going, and you can see we do have showers out there right now. In fact, some of them up across the Gila and up in our northern mountains too, and so we are getting that steady rain, and this time of the day is really beneficial because the temperatures are down. It's a lot cooler. There's a lot more moisture to be held in the air, and you also don't get the erratic winds or strong storms that could pose some problems when it comes to the fires. The lightning and then really erratic winds from strong storms that pop up after the heating of the day can kind of hinder things, but overall I think we're seeing more good than harm with the rain and the moisture in place. Wind speed's not bad, and they shouldn't be too bad for us today either. So the fire weather looking pretty good for the next couple of days.
Well, one family here in Albuquerque has had a very rough weekend thanks to the fallout from a fire and the rain.
And today they could finally be moving into a better apartment. Stephen Chavez lives in the Citadel Apartments in Northeast Albuquerque. He came home Friday to find wet carpet and waterlogged kitchen cabinets and drywall. The water came from a unit above his. Now the unit had a hole in the roof because of a fire back in March. The hole just had a tarp covering it, and Friday's rainstorm, well, pushed water through. And since then, Chavez says he's had to pay for his own hotel. The apartment complex says it's working on the issues.
I don't want to down talk anybody. I don't want to talk bad about anybody, but performance speaks for itself.
We're dealing with our insurance company as well as contractors to get the units that were affected with the fire rebuilt. So that's a process. It's a working process. We're working diligently with that.
The Roger Cox Property Management, which runs Citadel Apartments, says it will have a new unit for Stephen to move in by today.
Police are still trying to figure out who shot someone 3 times inside a convenience store in northwest Albuquerque this weekend. About 10 Saturday night, police say one person was chasing another here near Indian School in Manal, and they both ended up inside the Allsup store. That's when the shooting started. One person was hit 3 times and should survive. Police say the shooter took off, and right now they have not said if they know who it is.
New this morning, employers are hiring big time in the United States when it comes to filling temporary jobs. Government reports and records show that the number of temporary jobs has jumped more than 50% since the recession ended 4 years ago. That is the most on government records dating back to 1990. You know, I know it's only temporary jobs, but hey, it's good news, I think.
It's better than them not being filled.
Yeah.
Look at it that way.